Greetings, friends, and welcome to the 2020 West Ohio Annual Conference Awards presentation. Tonight, you will see and hear about the good work being done by many across our conference to bear witness to God's love for all humanity. To all those being recognized tonight and to the many unnamed individuals and congregations serving their communities in the name of Jesus Christ, thank you. Thank you for being God's love, God's light for the whole world to see. And now I'll hand things off to our Conference Director of Connectional Ministries, the Reverend D. Stickley Minor.
Thank you, Bishop Palmer, and good evening, West Ohio. We are living in unprecedented times, times that make us pause and think about the overwhelming struggles facing humanity. Some struggles are new, like experiencing a global pandemic on the scale never before seen in our lifetime. Other struggles are old, like confronting the racism that has reinvented itself every generation since slavery. Yet our theme for this year's annual conference reminds us to be not afraid. God is with us. Chosen 4 years ago, this theme appropriately echoes God's words to Joshua as he prepared to cross the Jordan River and enter God's promised land. I hereby command you, be strong and courageous. Do not be frightened or dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. These days, you may be looking out at the river God is asking you to cross with more than a little dismay, but be not afraid, for God will be with you as you wade into new waters, doing ministry in ways you never thought possible. Tonight, we are here to recognize individuals and congregations in West Ohio who have found new and innovative ways of doing and being the church. With me to help present the 2020 West Ohio Annual Conference Awards is our conference lay leader, Mitchell Harper, who will announce our first two awards.
Thank you, Dee. It's good to be here this evening to honor the work so many of our congregations are doing to help God's love break through into their churches and communities. The Missional Church Development Multiplication Awards are given to congregations that have experienced breakthroughs and fruitfulness as a result of participation in the Missional Church Consultation Initiative, also called the MCCI or the Greenhouse Program. This year's MCCI Multiplication Award goes to Central Trinity UMC in Zanesville, led by Pastor Steve Judson. Since 2018, Central Trinity has multiplied its fruitfulness by starting a new non-traditional worship service and investing significantly in their children and youth programs, while also adding a staff member to attend to these new ministries. The Greenhouse Multiplication Award for this year goes to Mosaic Church in Dayton, led by Pastor Wayne Botkin and Pastor Rosario Picardo. Since launching in 2017, Mosaic has reached an average of 335 people each week, including 50 children and representing 15 different nations. They meet in the Cinemark Theater in the Beaver Creek area of Dayton. As of the end of 2019, Mosaic Church has celebrated 90 baptisms. Congratulations, Central Trinity and Mosaic Church, for receiving this year's Missional Church Development Multiplication Awards.
Effectively reaching new people for Christ is the hallmark of West Ohio's Light of the World Award, given to one church from each district that demonstrates a commitment to shine the light of God's love into their community. This year's Light of the World churches are Centenary United Methodist Church from the Capital Area North District. Centenary in Columbus is a historically African American congregation whose mission is to follow God's call to create healthy, just, and vibrant human community. We tried to establish the congregation's credibility among the people of the neighborhood before extending invitations through overt evangelical witness. says part-time pastor Callan Holloway. A group of 9 centenary members were trained to do door-to-door canvassing to identify, assess, and meet the needs of the community. Pastor Cal also walks the neighborhood once or twice a month to engage neighbors in conversation, urge voter registration, listen to concerns, and pray with people. In 2019, Centenary celebrated 4 baptisms and professions of faith. Atlanta United Methodist Church from the Capital Area South District. Atlanta, led by Reverend Samuel Harnish, is a small, rural, traditional church on the western edge of Pickaway County. The church has a focus on children, the community, and prayer. One of the church's main ministries is the After School Special, a program for children and youth that includes Bible study and fellowship, arts and crafts, a meal, and prayer. After teaching about baptism at the after-school program, the church held a baptism Sunday where 24 people were baptized. Buchtel United Methodist Church from the Foothills District, led by Mr. David Shoemaker. Buchtel is located in Athens County in the foothills of Appalachia. With an average attendance of 84, the church offers a blended worship style in a relaxed atmosphere. Being a welcoming congregation, offering hospitality wherever possible, helped Buchtel go from 0 baptisms and professions of faith in 2018 to 18 the very next year. Catawba United Methodist Church from the Miami Valley District. The mission of Catawba is to share the good news of God's love made known in Jesus Christ. Led by Reverend Douglas Bovey, Catawba is located in the small rural town of Catawba in eastern Clark County. This congregation of 62 members holds hospitality dinners, Bible study, a new Sunday school program, and welcomes everyone who enters the church. In 2019, they celebrated 11 baptisms and professions of faith. Toledo Wesley United Methodist Church from the Maumee Watershed District. Led by Reverend Waverly Early, Toledo Wesley is a 130-year-old congregation of 70 members that worships about 25 on Sundays. Located in a low-income urban area in the old north end of Toledo, most of their ministry centers around the mission of making disciples and meeting needs. In addition to a large food and clothing pantry open on Saturday mornings, other ministries include school supplies, an addiction support group, and re-entry ministry. Toledo Wesley went from 0 baptisms and professions of faith in 2018 to 3 in 2019. Owensville United Methodist Church from the Ohio River Valley District. Reverend David Tennant is the pastor at Owensville, located in Claremont County, about 30 miles east of Cincinnati. Owensville has a population of less than 900, yet the church averaged 55 in worship each Sunday. Ministries that helped the church go from 0 professions of faith and baptisms in 2018 to 7 in 2019 included weekly Bible studies, a crafting quilting group, a weekly food pantry, as well as participating in community programs. Wellston Hope United Methodist Church from the Shawnee Valley District. Wellston Hope is located in a small city of about 5,500 people in Jackson County. In addition to worship, the Sunday school, they offer a children's choir and bell choir and a community meal twice each month. Led by Reverend Susan Allison Keaton, Wellston Hope went from 0 baptisms and professions of faith in 2018 to 14 in 2019. Congratulations to all of this year's West Ohio Conference Light of the World Award winners.
Our next award was created by Discipleship Ministries to celebrate churches that are extending the love of Christ into the community and bringing new members into their congregations. The One Matters initiative recognizes one congregation from each conference that has transformed 0 professions of faith and baptisms into positive numbers. Each number represents a transformed life. a life that matters to God and to all of us. This year's One Matters West Ohio Conference Award winner is Antwerp United Methodist Church under the leadership of Reverend Michael Schneider. Antwerp UMC is a community-minded church in a small rural community in Northwest Ohio. The people are committed to being a witness for Christ as they focus on their mission of loving God and loving others. Barry Burns, District Superintendent for the Northwest Plains District, says Antwerp UMC has always been committed to reaching their community, but now they seek to engage their community as it is and not just as it once was. The results of that work are seen in them reaching new disciples. I celebrate with them that they went from 0 professions of faith and baptisms one year to 16 last year. They had 7 baptisms and 9 professions of faith last year alone. Congratulations, Antwerp UMC, for being this year's West Ohio Conference One Matters Award winner.
Evangelism extends God's love in a variety of contexts and settings. It impacts and engages all generations, and evangelism is built upon relationship, both with God and with those around us. The Harry Denman Evangelism Award honors United Methodists in each annual conference whose exceptional ministry of evangelism brings people into a life-transforming relationship with Jesus Christ. This year, West Ohio is happy to present the Denman Award to layperson Marie Furry from St. Paul's United Methodist Church in Defiance. Marie first came to St. Paul's Food Pantry as a client, then as a volunteer, and now is the director of the pantry. She has expanded the ministry to also include a community meal, prayer time, and Bible study, sharing the love of Jesus with her neighbors in both word and deed. Marie's nomination for the Denman Award was filled with testimonials from volunteers and clients of the food pantry, all of whom described Marie as loving, generous, determined, and compassionate. Marie has and continues to lead an exceptional ministry that brings hope to people and leads them into life-transforming relationships with Jesus Christ, says Reverend John Schlischer, senior pastor at St. Paul's. Marie consistently introduces others to the good news of Jesus Christ, not only in the food pantry, but in every ministry area she is involved in. Congratulations to Marie for being this year's West Ohio Denman Award recipient.
The purpose of the West Ohio United Methodist Rural Advocates, or UMRA, is to advocate, educate, inspire, and influence rural churches. Each year, the West Ohio UMRA awards the William B. Murray Vital Church Award to a rural church worshiping less than 100 that displays passionate worship, radical hospitality, risk-taking service, and mission-extravagant generosity and faith-forming relationships. The district award recipients for this year are Johnstown UMC from Capital Area South, First Hope UMC from the Foothills District, Lindsay Trinity UMC from the Maumee Watershed District, Gilboa UMC from the Northwest Plains District, New Vienna UMC from the Ohio River Valley District, and Liberty Chapel UMC from the Shawnee Valley District. The 2020 recipient of the West Ohio UMRA William B. Murray Vital Church Award is Lewiston Trinity United Methodist Church from the Capital Area North District, which Reverend Deborah Kitchum has as pastor. Lewiston Trinity UMC is a vital part of the Lewiston Indian Lake community. The church has helped to expand the local food pantry, offers a community meal, has a thriving knitting and crocheting ministry, and recently began an outreach ministry named HALO, which stands for Helping, Assisting, and Laboring for Others. With an average attendance of 70 people on a Sunday morning, Lewiston Trinity is doing vital ministry in their community. Congratulations on being chosen to receive the 2020 West Ohio UMRA Vital Church Award.
The Faith in Mission Award was created to recognize individuals or congregations that have shown exceptional faithfulness in serving God's people in their own communities or around the world. This year, West Ohio is excited to present 2 Faith in Mission Awards, the first of which goes to the pastors and churches involved in the Walk with a Pastor initiative. Walk with the Pastor promotes healthy habits by encouraging church members to simply take a walk with their pastor. Pastors and churches who joined in this innovative take on the Walk with the Doc program include Mark Chow and Zanesville Grace United Methodist Church, Ronnie Griffin at Finley, Mount Sterling, Mount Olive Charge, Steve Judson at Zanesville Central Trinity, Richard Purvis at Finley St. Paul, Elizabeth Reed at Malta, Joy Weigel at Zanesville First United Methodist Church, and Reverend Justin Williams at Zanesville Coburn United Methodist Church. Thank you for being faithful in stewarding the health of your communities. The second Faith and Mission Award goes to Jack Reif, longtime Volunteers and Mission team leader and coordinator for the Ohio River Valley District. In his 30-plus years of mission work, Jack participated in 61 teams and has led 40 of those teams. He has served in Alaska, North Carolina, Haiti, Cuba, Puerto Rico, Peru, Ecuador, Venezuela, Panama, Costa Rica, and Nicaragua, where he has traveled 40 different times. Jack says that his favorite memories are of the volunteers he has served with. Some became pastors. Others changed their college majors because of their experiences. And still others used their passion to bring along others in mission. Jack says Christians need to engage in risk-taking service and mission, which can mean anything outside the door of home or church. Jack, thank you for the risks you have taken to share God's transformative love with people near and far.
Church camp is one place right here in West Ohio where young people can discover God's love through life-changing relationships. And this year's Camp Changes Lives Award goes to someone who has been serving at our West Ohio camps for over 20 years. Reverend Joel Harbarger is currently the pastor at Monroe UMC and has served at Camp Otterbein as Pastor of the Week, Camp Vision Team Chair, rock climbing instructor, high ropes facilitator, kayaking instructor, trip leader, staff and camper mentor, and retreat leader. His unwavering efforts over the years to promote the mission of the camping ministry has been an inspiration, and his love, care, and passion and laughter have blessed many involved in the West Ohio camps. West Ohio is happy to honor Reverend Joel Harbarger with this year's Camp Changes Lives Award.
West Ohio takes seriously the responsibility churches have in protecting the children and vulnerable adults in their care. To that end, over 20 lay and clergy leaders from across the conference were invited to become Safe Sanctuaries trainers and consultants. This team of trainers has committed to walking with local churches as they develop, implement, refine, and revise their Safe Sanctuaries policies. This team also works with their respective districts to offer district-wide basic trainings on Safe Sanctuaries policies. Tonight, we recognize and celebrate these new faces in the community of Safe Sanctuaries trainers. Lauren Burns and Shelley Nall, Judy Hugg and Amanda Stuffelbeam, Heather Martirazzo, Julie Carter, Jody Packard, and Melissa Steinecker, Charlie Bosworth, Deb Egloff, Wendy Leibarger, Christina Miller, Deb Roth, and Cheryl Wilson, Justin McCall, Matt Overman, and Michelle Shaparsky, Suzanne Allen, Benji Sayer, Marie Smith, and Jamie Sparks, Anne Marie Carley, Larry McCoy, Anthony Thomas, and Jamie Worth. Thank you to these dedicated trainers who will assist in making our churches a safe place for all people.
West Ohio seeks to welcome all people into the family of God, including those affected by mass incarceration. All in Community is West Ohio's response to the impact of the criminal justice system on churches and communities across our conference. The All-In Community Leadership Team assists lay, clergy, and community members in ministry with justice-involved persons. We recognize these leaders for their collaborative and connectional work over the last 5 years. Kathy Harrington, Whitehall UMC. Deborah Ketchum, Lewiston Trinity. Hope Roberts, Maynard. And Wendy Tarr, Summit. Vaughn Cook, Gethsemane UMC. Jeff Daniels, Church for All People. And Dave Pennington, Brushy Fork UMC. From the Maumee Watershed District, Jamie Nathan, Archbold UMC. Debo Anabanjo, Toledo Zion. And Melissa Steinecker, Aldersgate UMC. Amelia Boomershine and James Clay, Grace UMC. Rick Jones, Yellow Springs UMC. And Nicole Land, Ginghamsburg UMC. Ruth Carter Christ and Kathy Kaufman, Gilboa UMC. Mark Hollinger, Cridersville UMC. And Jesse Roark, Lima St. Mark's UMC. Barb Vogt, Westwood UMC. Tom Knopf, Jeffersonville UMC. And Derek Russell, Hillsborough First UMC. These leaders have also been responsible for creating and leading new ministry efforts, including Hope Letters, a reentry mentoring by correspondence program. Life Builders Groups, which mentor returning citizens before and after their release. Good Samaritan Teams, which provide support for victims and justice-involved family members. And Caring Community Mentors, which mentor 18 to 22-year-old high-risk justice-involved men and women. Thank you to our West Ohio All-In Community team for their impactful leadership.
More than a year has passed since the Salina and Dayton areas were devastated by 17 tornadoes on Memorial Day of 2019. The tornadoes destroyed over 1,500 buildings and damaged 7,000 more, many of them uninsured or underinsured. In the immediate aftermath of the tornadoes, many area United Methodist churches provided food, water, prayers, and volunteers who helped to clear debris. In the months that followed, United Methodist early response teams and other volunteers have worked to help homeowners in the hardest hit areas. Our final recognition this evening goes to the many individuals, teams, and churches that have worked to help rebuild and restore the greater Salina and Dayton communities. Just in the first 9 months of recovery, more than 1,900 volunteers gave 16,663 hours towards tornado relief work, and West Ohio raised $224,000 for disaster response. You were hope. You made God's presence real. Thank you. And though the rebuilding process was slowed down by the pandemic, teams have now resumed work in safe, socially distanced ways. 2 UMCOR-funded case managers continue to walk with survivors through the recovery process. Even so, it may take 5 to 10 years for Dayton to fully recover. As we celebrate what has already been done, we recognize that there is still more to do.
What an inspiring group of churches and individuals we've been privileged to recognize tonight. Thank you for joining us for the 2020 West Ohio Annual Conference Awards presentation. Congratulations to all of our award winners and honorees, and thank you for the incredible ministry you do on behalf of the West Ohio Conference. Now for a final word from our Director of Connectional Ministries, Dee Stickley Minor.
Thank you, Mitchell. We so appreciate all the gifts that you bring to us as our conference lay leader. West Ohio, be not afraid. God is with us. as each of you works to transform the world through the love of Christ and by the grace of God, may we trust in the Holy Spirit to lead us through the rough waters into the promised land of God's abundant life for all people. Amen and amen.